Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and thanks for joining us for another edition of the news on Legacy Development TV. On our top story, today has been observed as Nelson Mandela Day. To that effect, the inmates of the Buea Central prison have been encouraged not to lose hope as they serve their prison term. These and more in this edition of the news. Thanks for joining us for the 8 p.m. news on Legacy Development TV. Some civil society activists in Buea have been schooled on the importance of networking and fundraising. This was during a one-day capacity building workshop that took place in Buea today. Our reporter, Honorin Cheng, was there and compiled the following report for the 8 p.m. news.
Some heads of civil society organizations are lamenting over the difficulties they occasionally experience with regards to fundraising. They made this remark today during a one-day workshop initiated by the International Center for Environmental Education and the Community Development ICNEDEF.
The main aim of this meeting is to progress the Addis Ababa Action Agenda for Financing for Development at the local level. Is to support startup organizations and companies with some of the fundraising strategies for them to support their work program and action plan for them to actually mobilize resources nationally, locally, and internationally to support their development effort.
Amongst others, participants were drilled on a host of fundraising strategies, as well as the importance of branding institutions properly.
We have used a number of these fundraising strategies, opportunity, that networking, establishing working session, participating in international meetings, presenting our projects and community in real development terms, and also working within the framework of the government.
The information sharing platform established by the network of civil society organizations is proof enough that building partner ventures is important for the attainment of sustainable development.
When it comes to the issue of packaging, it's very, very important to use social media tools like Facebook, Twitter. You know, the issue of fundraising, it deals with a lot of professionalism, the way you build up your project proposal, the way you approach development partners, and how realistic is your project on the ground to produce desirable results that can and really affect humanity positively.
Participants can now approach foreign partners with ample knowledge on the resource mobilization and the accountability, to name but these.
I have learned that everything that is given to you by the donors needs to be accounted for. You need to make the donors understand how it's being used and the impact that it has created to the community.
The gathering has really been a blessing. I'm taking home a lot of benefits from it, added to the networking that I've met other partners from other NGOs.
While hoping that this knowledge-based exchange encounter will bring about positive strides in the development process, the organizer has pledged in the days ahead to convene a workshop on a proposal writing.
Today has been observed as Nelson Mandela Day. To that effect, the inmates of the Buea Central prison have been encouraged not to lose hope, but rather use the period as a moment of transformation. The call was made by the members of the University of Buea Commonwealth Club in partnership with the Nuera Leonga Foundation as they donate some basic commodities to the inmates of the Buea Central prison. This reporter took interest on that philanthropist activity and now tell us more. The inmates of the Buea Central prison have benefited from a philanthropic gesture by the Commonwealth Club of the University of Buea in collaboration with the Nuera Foundation. This was during a visit to the Buea Central prison where some basic commodities comprising rice, savon, toiletries and clothes were donated to the inmates. The gesture falls within the context of observing the 2019 Nelson Mandela Day.
Today we're at the prison to talk to the prisoners and encourage them that regardless of the fact that they are inside the yards, they still have a life, they are still humans, and we hope they can be positive regardless of the crimes they have committed. And we hope upon their release, they can live the way Mandela left the prison, with a different view about life and moving on with their life to impact others in the community.
In his welcome statement, the superintendent of the Buea Central Prison appreciated the efforts of the University of Buea Commonwealth Club and that of Mandela Foundation, while noting that the philanthropic action will go a long way in putting a smile on the faces of the inmates. Different motivational speeches all dwelled on reminding the inmates of the inspiring stories of Nelson Mandela and the legacy he left behind. Thus, they were encouraged not to lose hope but use their prison term as a period of transformation for a better life ahead.
We saw a transformation of his life when he was in prison, and when he came out from prison, the works he did. So we came to encourage them and using Mandela as an example to show to them that they too can become great leaders tomorrow. Being in the prison today doesn't mean you'll be there forever. They should use the prison as a learning place and not a place to destroy them the more.
The exercise was equally marked by a show of love, happiness, animated by the inmates of the Buea Central Prison. It should be noted that the Nelson Mandela Day was instituted in 2009 by the United Nations, aimed at appreciating and upholding the rich legacy left behind by the former South African President Nelson Mandela. You're watching the 8 p.m. news on Legacy Development TV, and we are broadcasting live from Buea in Cameroon. In other news, the administrative management and accounts for the 2018 financial year of the Buea Council has been adopted over 1.5 billion francs CFA. This was during the ordinary session of the Buea Council that unfolded yesterday. Our reporter Susan Deep was at the Buea Council and brought back the following package.
Under the auspices of the Buea Council Mayor Ekema Patrick Esunge, with the supervision of the personal representative of the Senior Divisional Officer for FACO, Supervisory of Auditory Board of Council within FACO Division, Mr. Otto Gembi, the Buea Council has addressed some pertinent issues relating to the swift operations of the Council amidst the challenging times. Amongst issues discussed at the Buea Council chambers were ways of ensuring peace and development in the Buea municipality and earmarked projects in the 2018 financial year. With this, during the plenary session, the chairman of the Finance Committee presented a sum of over 1.5 billion francs CFA for adoption as the administrative management account, with over 45 million francs work investment, indicating an excess over expenditure amounting to over 1.65 million francs CFA. According to Mayor Ekema, despite the difficult and challenging times, the Buea Council has been able to record impressive results towards the promotion of education, road rehabilitation, and infrastructures. A case in point is the Bukwango-Bokwai road stretches that have been rehabilitated, boreholes provided, as well as some classrooms erected in some primary schools within the municipality. He equally noted that the Buea Council also has offered scholarships to some students within the 2018 financial year. At the end of the plenary session, the mayor and his councillors are still determined for significant progress in the development of the Buea municipality, as their mandates have again been extended to February 29, 2020.
With that report, ladies and gentlemen, we put a cap on today's edition of the news on Legacy Development TV. But before we take leave of you, we remind you of our lone headline, where today has been observed as Nelson Mandela Day. To that effect, the inmates of the Buea Central Prison have been encouraged not to lose hope as they serve their prison term. The call was made by the representatives of the University of Buea Commonwealth Club in partnership with the Mandela Foundation as they observe the Nelson Mandela Day. Thanks for your kind attention, and you do take the appointment with us tomorrow at 8 p.m. Until then, good night.
you.